Spoiler warning for Solanin. I will be getting into quite a few spoilers for the book, so if you haven't read it for yourself and you want to avoid spoilers, then I suggest you click off this video and save it for a later date. You have been warned. Have you ever felt lost in life? Like you're trying to find the path you're supposed to go on, but the only thing you can see in front of you is mist? That kind of feeling is something I'm all too familiar with. I, like many 20-somethings, just don't know what to do with my life. Sisyphus 55 has a wonderful video about the quarter-life crisis. I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out, but the concept is best summed up by this YouTube commenter who says the best part of your 20s is that you get to choose what to do with the rest of your life. The worst part is that you have to choose what to do with the rest of your life. Many young adults find themselves stuck in a loop with no clear exit. This feeling has driven me to find media surrounding this idea of feeling lost, and I recently picked up a manga called Solanin by Inio Asano. If you're in the manga space, then you're probably familiar with the author's infamous title, Goodnight Punpun, but Solanin was one of Asano's earlier works, released in 2005 through 2006. This book would also launch Asano's name into the eyes of the international audience. So let's get into the book. Our main character is Miko, a 23-year-old who quits an office job that she found unsatisfying and decides to take a year off to find out what she wants to do with her life. During that time, we're introduced to 4 other characters: Taneda, Miko's boyfriend and the lead guitarist as well as singer of his band; Ai, Miko's friend; Kato, Ai's boyfriend and the bass guitarist in Taneda's band; and lastly Yamada, Taneda's friend and the drummer in the band. Each character finds themselves in a unique scenario. Taneda is a part-time graphic designer who sleeps on Miko's couch. His dream is to lead his own successful band with his friends, but his inner selves constantly debate what the right decision is. After giving his dream a shot, he decides to quit music and continue his work as a graphic designer. Music will just be a hobby from now on. At least that's what he planned. Ai is a retail store worker, and when an office job in Sendai is offered to her, she questions if this is how she wants to spend the rest of her life. This new job would give her more pay and more opportunities, but she'll have to leave Tokyo and potentially end things with Kato. After giving it plenty of thought, she decides to refuse the offer and stay in Tokyo. Kato is a college student who has been held back for a few years, with no sign of graduating anytime soon. Despite things seemingly going against him, he manages to get an office job, even if he's on the chopping block. Lastly, Yamada is the oldest in the group and works at his parents' pharmacy, and will most likely take over the business when his parents retire. He views things from a cynical perspective, believing it's too late to chase his dreams, but anytime he gets to play the drums, he gives it his all. It's a fun distraction from his boring work days, and it's a way to honor Taneda. With such a range of scenarios, I'm sure most of you can relate to one of them. Personally, I relate most to Miko's situation, but the counsel of Taneda is also relatable. Music also plays a big role in this book. As I mentioned earlier, Taneda has his own band with Kato and Yamada. We get to see the passion the group has for music, even if it's not popular or liked by others. That doesn't matter to them. If the music makes them happy, then that's what matters. And Miko gives Taneda the push he needs to attempt to make music his career. The group makes their own CD project called Solanin and sends it to multiple music labels. They get an offer to play for a new and up-and-coming singer. They would be in the background while she's in the spotlight. The group rejects the offer and continues their endeavors, and when Taneda goes to get his old job back, Miko sits down, listens to the song, and reads the lyrics for Solanin. After the unfortunate passing of Taneda, the band is put on hold until Miko decides to get the band back together, with her taking the lead guitarist and singer roles to honor Taneda. And the first song she decides to perform is Solanin. The song goes like this: "Misunderstandings are beyond the sky. Is life just full of goodbyes? We caught a glimpse of our future, but it's time for goodbye. If I had done this then, if I could return to then, but I can't become the boy I was. In that little room where I used to live, a stranger now resides. The awful words you said, all those wasted days. A lukewarm can of coffee on a cold winter's day. The long rainbow-colored scarf, like a trail of memories, chase me down the alleys, and I cannot get away. Suppose our tepid happiness were to linger on in the darkness of our hearts. An evil seed would sprout, and it's time for goodbye. Goodbye. It's alright. Be well wherever you are. I too will survive. It's alright. So goodbye." Miko's first thoughts are that this song is a breakup between lovers, but after Taneda's passing, she realizes the song is a breakup with oneself. The line, "We caught a glimpse of our future, but it's time for goodbye," echoes Taneda's thought process at the time. He caught a glimpse of the future with his band, but decided it was time to move on. The line, "The awful words you said, all those wasted days," is talking about his mental space, specifically the council of Taneda that argues back and forth, insulting one another, tearing himself yourself down. The line "suppose our tepid happiness were to linger on in the darkness of our hearts, an evil seed would sprout and it's time for goodbye" refers to his desire to continue the band, but he'd rather end things when they're good than when they're bad, so it's time to say goodbye. So the band regroups with Miko as the new leader and begins to practice for a show at their old college. After lots of hard work, the band performs Solanin, and we get to see a beautiful montage of them playing their hearts out. There are no words in this montage, but they're not needed. The artwork speaks for itself, depicting a melancholic experience. After the concert, we get a time skip a few months later. Some things have changed and some haven't. We learn about what each member of the group is up to, and we learn that a record label employee is curious when Miko and the band will perform again, leaving a potential gateway for our main character's future. But for right now, she's going to focus on the present. And maybe that's something I and other readers can take to heart. Maybe I don't need all the answers right now. Maybe your 20s are all about exploring and finding who you are. Hey peeps, thank you so much for watching this far into the video. I know that this wasn't some super in-depth analysis video like with my Vinland Saga video, but I honestly just wanted to talk about this amazing story without trying to find meaning in every little thing. I just wanted to enjoy it for what it was. If you somehow haven't read Solanin and you've made it this far into the video, then I highly suggest you check it out for yourself, especially if you're in your 20s like myself. If you like this video, then consider subscribing. I make videos similar to this one, as well as hauls and other collecting videos. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye!